what everyone thinks a beach read is. I don't know if you should like be making a fart joke while you're doing this because I'm not 12. I just like need a bigger vocabulary, I think. Someone tell me. Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia and I don't normally start vlogs like this. I thought you would like to see like the books, but maybe you don't. Nothing about my life is normal right now, so let's just get that straight. So, hi friends, I'm on vacation right now, which is very exciting for me because I am very bad at taking vacations and very bad at like actually having a vacation life when I'm on vacation. I will be like looking for apartments and looking for roommates and that kind of stuff, but usually I'm just like working on a book or I'm applying to college. So this time I'm going to be reading and I decided I wanted to read a bunch of like fun fluffy books that would typically be classified as beach reads because I am at a beach vacation. I'm in Cape Cod, I can tell you that. It's not a secret. Yeah, today's kind of like an overcast day, so I was like, should I even vlog? Should I even let you know? But I'm going to show you what I brought with me to read. I'm very excited because like I said, I was reading a book last month and I kind of avoided all contemporary and cute romance things. First we have Undercover Romance. This is by Lisa K. Adams. This is the second book in the Bromance book club series. I threw this in at the last minute and it's actually the first book I started. I'm now 26 pages through it and I started it like this morning, so I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. But I do kind of like what the romance is shaping up to be. And the two people, I kind of really didn't remember about the last book other than like the premise, but I really didn't remember much else. So I'm excited. I know a lot of people don't really love the next few books, but I'm gonna try it out, see what happens. It seems fun and cute. And then I have Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. This is a book set over the summer, which is why it's summery. It's about a dog walker and some unexpected things happening. Then we have Ophelia After All. I'm not sure if this is technically a beach read, but you know, we're gonna call it that for the sake of this video because I really want to read it. But this is about a girl kind of discovering her sexuality. I believe it has a female-female romance and it's a young adult, and yeah, I'm very excited. I've heard amazing things. And then I do have The Romantic Agenda. This one I'm trying to pick up. It's definitely gonna be a beach read kind of day, and I mean it looks beach read. And this is like a love square. All these people are on vacation and they all kind of have different objectives, different romantic objectives in mind, if you will. We have Joy is in love with Malcolm. Malcolm wants to date Summer. Summer is in love with Love, and Fox is Summer's ex-boyfriend. So lots of shenanigans going on there and some kind of complicated ties as well. So I'm very interested to read this because I do really like Claire Can, and I'm very excited to read an ace beach read, which is exciting. And then I do have Camp, which is it's about a queer camp, and I believe it's a male-male romance. This is a young adult, and I believe that there's also like a musical that they're putting on, which is so fun. I love not only like music and books, but I really love musicals and books and plays and stuff because I feel like they're really fun to read about, and the different kind of roles that people take on and the kind of inner workings of those things are really fun as well. And I also have this for my mom, but I've already read it. So those are the books on the TBR. I'm really not planning on doing much else. Like I said, I'm looking for apartments and roommates for said apartments. I'm gonna read more of this book. Not right now, I'm gonna go look at apartments, but right after that I'm going to get back to reading this book. We're not doing much else today. Like I said, it's overcast and kind of cloudy, so we shall see. Now instead of like 15 minutes ago when I looked really cute to film this, but here we are. So I read some more of Undercover Romance today on the beach, and I got to about halfway. I'm on page 153. So this is the romance between Braden Mac and Liv, who is like the sister of the wife from the first book. They have kind of like this enemies to lovers romance going on, which I am really enjoying. I think the romance is really well done in this book. However, I think the situation surrounding this romance and how it's coming together is like kind of insensitive. So essentially these two people meet at a restaurant, the restaurant that Liv is working at, and Mac is on a date. He ends up causing some sort of accident that gets Liv, their server, in trouble with her boss, who is a predator. So she ends up observing him sexually harassing someone, a coworker, and essentially is trying to like force this woman to kind of like come out with her story and kind of, yeah, to like share kind of publicly and file a report and everything like that. And I guess Liv just kind of takes it upon herself after losing her job to right this wrong, which obviously is very wrong, but I just feel like she's going about it in the wrong way. Or maybe if she was going about it, that would be fine, kind of. I just think they're being a little bit stupid about it and insensitive and not caring about the other woman's feelings. But I also think it's really insensitive to kind of like use that as a plot device to further this romance. So like these two people have to keep coming together, Mac and Liv, to like, because they're setting up this plan to like get the boss back or whatever, or like get revenge or something, using a sexual harassment plot as a plot device to launch a romance. I just don't think that's that nice. It kind of rubs me the wrong way because I'm like, if this was about this, you know, sexual harassment and that tone, it would make sense, but like it was so jarring almost to read the first chapter with like all the bros back at their romance book club, and then it was just like this whole scene and talking about sexual harassment and then what Liv is gonna do about observing it and all this stuff. And I was like, how did the tone just completely change within a chapter? I'm not really even trying to find a balance, but still keeping things really, really light. Yeah, I'm like halfway through it. We are going to the lake and beach tomorrow, so I'll definitely get some more reading of this stuff. I don't want to DNF it. I do like the romance. I'm just like not paying attention to the plot. I wish the author could have come up with a better way to get these two characters together, because I don't love this. The characters in this book are really good. I really do like Liv, and I like Sonia. Definitely like I'm more excited to finish this, to be done with it, than for any real payoff. I feel like it's pretty clear where it's going. I realized I want to come up with some sort of like conclusion after I finish this video of like, what is a beach read? Is it important to read these specific fluffy types of books at the beach? Is that what, like, therefore, is that exactly what a beach read is to everyone? Hello, new angle. I'm finding all of the angles in my room. Hello, my friends. It is the 4th of July, which doesn't mean really anything in this crap nation that we live in. But anyway, my parents' anniversary, which is more fun. So we today went out to the beach, and then we also went to the lake. So I got some good old reading done. I finished up the Romance book club. Oh, what's this called? Undercover Romance. And I think that I stand by what I was saying before, is that the tone in this book is just so odd to me, and it almost feels problematic in some ways. I think that so much of this is silly, and then it tries to take on this serious tone and talk about a really serious issue like sexual harassment and sexual assault, and it just comes off really odd considering like the rest of this book is very like light, and they're also kind of, I don't want to say they're making light of these topics because I don't know if they really are, but they're setting up this sort of like, it feels like a heist movie almost, but like to get back at this guy who's an abuser. And it's like, I don't know if you should like be making a fart joke while you're doing that. Like, I don't know. It was really weird and rubbed me the wrong way, definitely. I did like the romance. That was probably the strongest point in this novel. I just didn't like the circumstances surrounding it. I did get to start the romantic agenda, and I'm so excited. I feel like I read this wrong last time I read this because I didn't understand that. I already know that Joy, one of our main characters, is Ace. But I think another character is also Ace, which makes me so happy. I'm like, what's better than one Ace character? Two. That's what. But this also seems like it has like fake dating. It has like maybe best friends to lovers, maybe enemies to lovers. Like it seems like it has so many different kind of tropes and fun things going on. Our main character Joy is in love with like her childhood crush kind of. I'm really not that far into it. Let's see. I'm on chapter 2. I'm on page 14. I just started it. So I do love Claire Can, or I have loved her romances in the past, and I did definitely smile a lot to myself just reading the first chapter. I really love her writing. I really like how she introduces her characters. I think she does a really great job doing that. I know how much can I say about the first chapter, but I am really excited for the setup. It's so weird, but I love it. Like, I don't know if it's gonna happen. Definitely sounds like a wild ride. I'm probably going to go to the beach again tomorrow. I'm just not exactly sure what the plan is for the rest of the week. I'm probably gonna finish this week because I am just so excited about reading it, and I have only read one chapter and I'm already obsessed. So there's that. Already having such a different reading experience than this one. So hopefully if I can read this and then maybe another book, have a barbecue, have some margaritas, have a good time. I'm still on the hunt for a roommate, so, and an apartment to go along with it, so gonna be exciting. I'll talk to you later. This book is turning out to be absolutely perfect for me, and I could not be more stoked. I am 124 pages in, and just there's so much like Ace positivity, Ace representation, and just like Ace love, which is like actually just my favorite thing ever. It just makes me so genuinely happy. They also mentioned 10 things I hate about you. I was like, literally, you could not sell me more on this book. Like, I don't think you have to do anything else for me to love this one. This is turning out to be like my perfect like summery romance, because there's just so many good conversations are being had and such like very real characters. I think especially like real representations of asexuality and being like, okay, like he's Ace too, but like he isn't sex repulsed Ace, or like he, you know, leans demi sometimes. Like having those discussions, because it's such a nuanced thing, you know, sexual attraction. So I think discussing that in kind of this safe space of a romance novel is my favorite thing in the entire world, and I'm loving it. Hello friends and colleagues, I am happy to report that I finished The Love Agenda. What is it? The Romantic Agenda. My brain was thinking The Love Hypothesis and I don't know why. I finished The Romantic Agenda last night and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was literally fantabulous. The character development in this story is fantabulous. I can't come up with a better word. I have to leave for the beach in like 10 minutes. So, okay. The Romantic Agenda. I loved this book so much. I finished it last night and I couldn't put it down. I loved every single second of this book. I loved every character in this book. I thought that they were so well developed. I thought that the plot and the story was really great. It was like a fake dating. I told you already what it's about. I've been talking about this for like a couple days. Some of my favorite parts of this book were the friendship between Joy and Malcolm. I thought that was really strong and felt very genuine. You have these two people that kind of like only really have had each other for a really long time, and where that might be toxic to some extent, and you know, they haven't really learned to let other people in, is definitely something that they're struggling with. That's like a point in the book, but them together is just so lovely and I really love them. And I do really love Summer and Fox. Yeah, I love that there were so many ace characters, and I just think Joy as a main character was so great to read from, to have this be kind of her romance. She's so unapologetic about being herself and I love her. I think that the dialogue in here was also some of the best dialogue I've read in a while. It didn't feel like this is the information I need to put out in order to further the story as a writer, but it felt like just two people having a conversation, you know, like where they would have been uncomfortable and stuff. Like it was all very like, everyone was like very good at communicating in this book, which I loved, because there is kind of, I mean, a bit of a miscommunication in the whole premise of the book, but because Joy has never told Malcolm that she loves him or is in love with him. But other than that, the actual like communication of everyone is really great and like kind of awesome to read about. But I just love Joy talking about her asexuality, and there's a point where she's kind of an influencer, and Summer knows that, though she doesn't really know her, or all these people kind of like think they know her, which is kind of, I guess, something that comes with the territory. I would never know. Just something about the fact that she always has to describe asexuality to people that don't know in a kind of objective and detached formula, in a way that comes out kind of forceful and to some extent, because there really is that fear of confusion and how confusion can lead to just all out like denial of your identity and things like that. And she described that so much better than what I'm saying, but I really loved those discussions, and any discussions around asexuality and having kind of a relationship. I just really loved every single character in here. It was so sweet. The only thing is I would have loved more of Summer, because I think she was such an interesting character to get to know, and I think that if we had a couple more scenes with her, maybe even towards the end, maybe if I reread this, I don't know, I would have loved more of her, but I just still gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I'm now gonna start Ophelia after all. I'm bringing this to the beach today. I'm not a monster. I'm not gonna bring the dust jacket, but this is by Romance, I think, and I just started it last night. I'm on page 10, so pretty exciting. I have high hopes for it. Maybe not gonna be the 5 stars that I just read, because how often do you get 2 5 stars back to back? But I'm very excited about it. I'm really liking the writing style. There's a lot of characters though, so it takes me a minute. I don't know if we're just gonna keep killing it for this vlog, which like I'm totally down for. But this book is so good. I actually just got approved for an arc of this Anne retelling graphic novel. What is it called? I'm going to download this and read this right now, because it's a graphic novel and it's an arc and it's Anne of Green Gables, and those are all things that I enjoy and love. So hello my friends. So I don't know if I updated, but I went book shopping and I got this book, favorite bookstore, and I got this half priced. If you're ever in Chatham, Umbrella Books, not sponsored, but I got the cactus because I've seen this before. I think I heard good things about it, or like almost picked it up a lot of times, so I figured I might as well have it, and I was looking for just like general fiction kind of things that I would enjoy. There's a couple books that I did ask if they had and they didn't have them in stock, so I ordered them online. I did pick this up, so let's see. Okay, so this deals with grief, which is something that I do really enjoy reading about. Ooh, it seems like a best friend's brother sort of love interest, and I think she's more of like the prickly. I just like can't help but make that comparison to a cactus. Like she's like the prickly one. Anyway, I'm interested to read this one. It's also British. I really like British things. So I did actually finish that book, and adaptation, whatever the fuck it's called. And I'm having an issue with this one because I love Anne of Green Gables. I obviously do. It's my favorite book of all time. So I hold that very near and dear to my heart. There was a lot that didn't work for me about this book. I do like making Anne contemporary, meaning like she's in contemporary times. I do really like that. I like talking about like the foster care system, and I think that she just in general has such a relatable story and about feeling lost and alone and finding your home. That's my brief synopsis of Anne of Green Gables. I think this book was like one of those things that was like really trying hard to be woke, and I think it's kind of weird to me because I don't know, I don't think like anything that it did was for any purpose other than to just have it, I I don't know. Maybe I'm just mad because I felt like Gilbert's character was just annoying. Maybe I'm mad because the dialogue didn't feel very well written. It didn't feel very authentic. Maybe it's not supposed to. That's fine. But I felt like it was supposed to kind of, it stuck to like kind of the story structure, but then the way I feel like Anne spoke, I think Anne is such a unique character and you have to really nail her voice because she has such a distinct voice. And I feel like I didn't get that. And that to me felt really sad. Like I was really sad about that. Because she like, in a lot of ways is like this jaded kid, but like, I don't know, she has so much more to her and like is so different than her other classmates. And I feel like where she was lacking made not as much sense in like modern day because it didn't make sense that she like wouldn't have, she definitely still had education, you know, and things like that in the foster care system. But like obviously in Anne of Green Gables, she didn't, she was a maid kind of. So I don't know. Robert's character was like completely off base to me. Like he was just mean and like annoying for no reason. And I did like Diana. I just don't know if I like the fact that Anne and Diana liked each other because it didn't really feel genuine. There's also like the question of like a 12-year-old romance, and I just like, you know, obviously it's not my place because I'm not 12 and I'm not exactly the target audience. At least to me, I felt like it didn't really bridge that gap very well because I felt like they were friends and then she's like, oh, but I also like her. It's like, but where did that come from? Because I feel like attraction is so hard to pin down in general, but like especially I feel like everything the parents, everything that Marilla and Matthew would say just felt like one of those, oh my god, what is it called? TED Talk. Not a TED Talk. What am I called? Like a lecture or something. Like so inauthentic. Like it didn't feel like something a parent would say because it was just like a really like a speech about like acceptance and love and something. And it's like you're just talking. Like it's not that deep. I was like, people don't have to always be like this. People are like this, and people can do this and this, and it's like, and every single time. And I was like, oh, this is not how people talk. This is not how parents talk. It's great to have positive role models in children's books. It's fantastic. But to have them be so different than actual people is, I don't think that helpful. Anyway, I have a lot to say. I also didn't really like the art style. So I really don't like this book. But I do like Anne. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting near my 100th book and it is stressing me out. So I hope Ophelia After All will be my 100th. Or will it? It actually very well might be my 100th book because I'm listening to an audiobook and it has nothing to do with this video. So I am probably going to read some more of that tonight. I'm packing up because we're leaving tomorrow and going to Boston. I'll extend this into just the rest of the week because why not? But yeah, we're going to Boston to look at apartments, so we'll see if that ends up working out for us because I do not have many options. The update, I have a little sunburn that I was trying to hide, but I will confess that I do have a little bit of sunburn. Hello my friends. So, it is the next day. Or is it not the next day? Is it the day after the next day? Anyways, yesterday I looked at apartments, and by apartments I looked at 2 because they were my only 2 options and only one of them was good and now I have that. Isn't it funny how life works? It was a very stressful, very long day. We didn't get home until like 10 o'clock. So I'm here to say hi, how are you? Today has also just been kind of a weird day. I applied to an internship, which is really exciting. I'll let you know how that goes later, but I did get a book in the mail. It's not a beach read, so sorry. But I got Cleopatra and Frankenstein. This is like, by all means, does not look like a beach read. Though it does seem like something I will really enjoy, and that is why I bought it, especially since it's like a hardcover. I actually like the UK cover a little bit better, but you know, if I love it, I'll buy another copy, but we'll see. This is compared to Conversations with Friends. That's actually so funny considering I have that on my TBR for the month. This is just a book I think I'm gonna give 5 stars, and I don't know why exactly. I think I read something about it and that made me make that decision. What that was, I don't remember. Very hard. It's a hardcover. It's very heavy. I think the pages are just kind of thick. Oh yeah, they're kind of a weighty page. It's like 360 pages. Sounds good. Sounds up my alley. We shall see. I'm now actually going to sit down and read some more of this book because I haven't read at all today. I'm on page 106 and I would really like to read some of that. I was trying to see that Katie was doing reading sprints, but she ended up doing them a lot shorter than she normally does them. Unfortunately, I missed them. But I'll actually just watch some booktube, I think. I really haven't done that in a while. My life has been bananas. I need to stop saying that. I just like need a bigger vocabulary. I guess I'll hit you up, unless something changes, maybe I'll hit you up in like 50 pages. I think it's like very purposefully slow. Or maybe I'm just reading it slow. I don't know. In case you want to see how chaotic like my brain is, like this is Goodreads, this is Katie, and I have book. So like nothing here is really that organized. But anyway, I'm on page 150/151. I'm not exactly sure which page I stopped on. But I am still really liking this book. I'm just like, I'm really enjoying what's happening. I still think it's moving really slow. But anyway, I'm gonna stop for the night because it's like an hour later, so. Alrighty, it is time for me to wrap up this vlog. It has been, you know how much time since I last updated, but I finished Ophelia After All, and I'm going to wrap up this book as well as poll answers about beach reads in general. So Ophelia, as far as a beach read, I do think this worked to some extent. I think the only thing I really didn't enjoy about this book was the pacing. Like I said, most of it felt very, very slow, which was really odd because it does kind of have the constant mention of this thing, big prom, is like everything is like leading up to prom, and they keep talking about how it's like coming up sooner and sooner, and you really just don't get that in the pacing because it's so slow. That is really my only complaint with this. Other than that, I love this book. I mean, this book does a really great job of not only having like a coming out story, but then I think it also has like a realistic depiction of romance and love and those sorts of concerns in high school and as like a teenager. There's kind of a love triangle. Like I said, there's a big friend group aspect to the story, and that is like probably one of the most important parts of it, and how kind of Ophelia relates to all of her friends. I just think that all of them were really well done. They all, you know, have their kind of distinct things, and I think the author really gave us a lot of time to get to know each character, which I think was really cool. Like I said, there were just some bigger discussions about coming out in high school and about friends you have in high school and relationships that you have in high school and what exactly they mean and the expectations that come with all of them and what happens after. I think it did a really great job of being very in tune with the people and the audience, the readers that are going to read this book, which I think is really important. Or I was a little bit apprehensive about the ending of this book. I thought it was going to kind of go into a trope. Not even a trope, I just hit myself. I just thought that it was gonna end differently than it did. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Great discussions, great queer stories, great representation. I mean, like 5 stars for the representation alone. There's ace representation, there's romantic representation, there's bi representation, pan representation. There's like literally name a thing. And it does such a good job of including representation. It's not forced at all. It feels very natural. I love it. I love Leslie. I love Sammy. They were probably like my 2 faves. But then also like Agatha's like an unsung hero. Like she deserves all the credit. So I don't know. I really love this. I mean, Ophelia's great also. It was really good. So my point in making this video was I really wanted to learn about beach reads. I wanted to learn about what a beach read is, what we think it is. I did a little bit of research on my Instagram, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure to do that. It's down below. I had to pull up for what a beach read is, and it was pretty varied. Unfortunately, I didn't do like the fill in the blank. I would have, but I just know that people are less likely to like type in an answer than just click a button. So I did 2 questions. The first question is, what is a beach read? Pretty, I don't know, broad, but pretty like direct, I guess. And so the first one was a cute and fluffy romance. The second was a fast-paced, easy to read book, or a book that you've been meaning to pick up. So this is just the definition of what everyone thinks a beach read is. Like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. What is it? And what's interesting is it was definitely pulling towards a cute and fluffy romance. It was like it was like 100% for a while. It's now still the majority, but it is by no means like the only answer that people are giving, which is really interesting. I definitely wasn't surprised by the fact that most people define a beach read as a romance, which is so interesting to me because it leads into my next question of like how often do you actually read what you say is a beach read at the beach, and why is it that you associate the 2 together? So then my second question was, what do you personally like to read at the beach? Because I was like, if this is what a beach read is that actually accurate to your experience of what you enjoy reading? First one is whatever I'm in the middle of, and the second is something I can finish in one sitting, or the third is anything I'm in the mood for. I mean, it's pretty split. Right now there's more for something I can finish in one sitting, and I think that goes back to the idea of a cute and fluffy romance. Is that something that you're more likely to finish in one sitting? Is that more easy to read? You know, it's a little bit murky with the whole fast-paced, easy to read question, or response, but I do think that that's an interesting thought. I mean, I just wanted to like see what people thought. In general, I don't love these like kind of arbitrary labels of a beach read or like chick lit or like any sorts of like those sorts of things, because I do think that in some ways they're great to like categorize things, but like I think it's also interesting to note how the genre itself of a beach read is very slim, yet the books that we are choosing to actually read at a beach are all over the map. Most people aren't reading romances at the beach, but why is that a beach read? Tell me. Someone tell me. I just thought that would be fun and interesting. So as I was doing that, I wanted to see if I personally enjoyed reading these books that were technically more beach ready, and I don't think it mattered. I genuinely think that it made absolutely no difference. I read a 2-star book, a 5-star book, and a 4-star book, and all of which I read at least in some portion at the beach. I can tell you it didn't change anything. It didn't make me more in the mood to read those either. That's my interesting thing. This was my 100th book of the year. I hope you did enjoy this video, got something out of it. Tell me what your favorite types of books are to read at the beach, because I am obviously very interested. And if you enjoy like these kind of little bit analytical parts of a reading vlog or of a bookish video, then let me know as well, because I like polls and statistics and stuff, and I think it's fun to relate it to reading and not just have to talk about myself. So anyways, that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of the things, and I will see you in my next video.